Assume the role of the chess master. We have a habit of falling into this state of mind as if life is just happening to us, and all we can do is manage. While the opponent is taking piece after piece off the board, you're refusing to move. The enemy is terrified of your capability, and so it will say things like, "You're not going to win anyways," in hopes that you don't wake up and fill the role that you are made for, the chess master.
You can't discover new oceans unless you have the courage to lose sight of shore. You'll never be able to discover new horizons or new oceans if you never have the courage to leave the shore. You'll never be able to discover new parts of yourself, new identities you want to step into, new things that you're passionate about, unless you have the willingness to leave what no longer resonates, even though it's familiar, even though it's all that you know. You gotta have the willingness to lose sight of shore in order to find those new horizons.
Grateful for what I have, hunting for what I don't. Grateful for the pain, the progress, the power. Hungry for the work, the wins, the wisdom. Gratitude keeps me grounded. Hunger keeps me hunting.
You don't have enough time. And no one does. It's a finite commodity, and we're all running out of time. And that is why we can't waste any time. Can't waste time sitting around and doing nothing, can't waste time scrolling through social media. In fact, what you need to do every chance you get is you need to make time. You need to get up earlier. Focus harder when you're at work so you can get the job done faster. See where you can save 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. You save those 3 minutes, you save those 5 minutes, and those minutes add up. And those minutes become hours, and days, and weeks. That is how you make time. So, get that sense of urgency.
You're just a few thousand reps away. A few thousand reps away from what you want. Life, the dream, the vision, whatever.
We think it's further away than it is. And because we think it's so far away, Jay, we create patterns and behaviors in our life that perpetually keep it there. And what if the truth is that you're one relationship away, one meeting away, one conversation, one podcast, one interview, one new thought, one new emotion, one new tactic or strategy away from completely changing the trajectory of your life?
The illusion is that you had to be capable enough when you only ever had to be brave enough to try. Do you understand? Being ready is not a feeling, it is a decision that you make. Okay, being ready is not a feeling, it's a decision that you make. So understand, the next time you're about to take a risk, all the anxiety that you feel, this is the most ready you will ever feel, and turn that anxiety into excitement, because that is what you are truly feeling.
Start waking up every single morning acting like the person who can achieve what you want to achieve, the person who lives the life you want to live, and the person who has what you want to have. Take action so consistently and so ruthlessly that eventually you'll have no choice but to achieve every single thing you ever wanted. From the outside, it's delusional. From the inside, it's inevitable.
So you failed. Guess what? You are one step away from being back on track. The world isn't over. You're human. You frickin' make mistakes. Every single human being on this earth makes mistakes. One step. That is it. Okay, don't fret. Take the step.
Don't stop trying because it didn't work. It never works the first time. It takes everyone a different amount of time to realize everyone is just thinking about themselves. No one was watching, and you should have just done whatever the fuck you wanted to all along.
If a person would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax, and then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves. See how you'd like to live your life. See yourself living it that way. Now understand that that's a picture in your mind, and then take that picture and describe it, write it out in the present tense. Start to read it and read it and read it and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers all down through history have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie, but if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it.
Hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. And the moment you decide to make a different choice, you're going to feel uncomfortable because you're stepping from the known into the unknown.
See, you can do anything. You can get up any hour, read any book, take any class, make any change, develop any skill, do any discipline. I mean, you can do it all. When this how and the why, or when the why starts to grow, the how gets simple.
Most challenges, opposition, adversity that we encounter are internal. Even though on the surface it looks to be external. Because when you come up against something, whether it be a person, situation, or circumstance, in perception, our perspective will go to a space and place that is external. When the course and the path to victory is internal. Meaning we possess everything we need in order to be victorious over the things that we encounter. But we look at problems, situations, circumstances, adversities as something to be external, when really it's something that's internal because we possess everything we already need in order to get through it.
There's a peculiar magic in realizing you're not the same person who started the journey. It's not a loss of who you were. Rather, it's an evolution into the person you were always meant to become. Embrace the transformation.
Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And so it looks like this ocean that you're going to step into and drown. But as soon as you step into it, you realize it was not that deep at all, and you can keep walking through it.
Face your fears, whatever they are. The fear that we might not do a good job. The fear that it might not turn out as we hope it would. The fears that are lurking there, some that have come and have been there even maybe since our childhood. Life is consisted of both fear and faith. Faith, of course, is the ability to overcome your fears. But what you have to do in terms of your fears, about perhaps your own inadequacy, not feeling strong enough at the moment, you just have to face those fears. You just have to go to work on it.
The pursuit of your goals will rarely be easy. You're going to feel discomfort, frustration, and self-doubt most of the time. But instead of getting discouraged, understand that there's growth in the struggle. You can't become someone you've never been by doing the things you've always done. Be proud of the effort you're putting in. Be patient with the results, because it's only a matter of time before you come out on top.
It's a part of life. You know, we were made to evolve and grow, and that means you're gonna outgrow people. That means you're gonna outgrow situations and places and things, and that is okay.
Most people will not understand your obsession, your drive, and your determination. Success is a lonely journey. That's just a reality. And most people are not gonna understand why you're so driven, why you're so obsessed. And if you try and make them understand, you're gonna end up frustrated. The best advice I can tell you is go on the journey by yourself. It is the best journey, man. Leveling up, becoming the best version of yourself is the most awesomest journey you will ever go on. But it's a journey that you will probably go on by yourself.
You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap that's just you rooting for you.
Sometimes sitting there thinking about the life that you want to live and the person you want to be and the simply isn't enough. If thinking about all the things that you want in your life isn't enough to get you going, why don't you sit there and think about the things that you don't want, all the feelings you don't want to experience, all the pain you don't want to feel. If you just can't visualize the bright future ahead of you, why don't you sit there and contemplate all the darkness that you're going to be surrounded by if you don't do what you need to do. Like sitting on your deathbed wishing you could do it all over again differently, but you can't. Wishing you had done what you need to do now when it's too late to do it. Ask yourself the question, what does the future look like if I don't do what I know I need to do?
Once you've taken that first step, you've looked the beast in the face, and you'll start progressing, not linearly, but exponentially in speed. So what's cool is that it doesn't really matter how small that first step is, because it'll start doubling, and anything that doubles grows unbelievably quickly. And so that's a very useful thing to know too.
I think the bigger question is, do you know yourself? You know, I think like there's unlimited people who are successful and happy that got straight A's, and there's unlimited people who are successful and happy who got D's and F's. The question is, who are you? Which version of the game are you? What do you like? Who do you want to be? And I think that's what you need to focus on.
You cannot wish for a strong character and an easy life. Each is the price of the other. What if what you're going through isn't hard? What if you're just sensitive?
At some point, you have to forget what other people think about you. Nothing you do has to make sense to anyone else. Your dreams don't have to align with what others think is best for you, because you're the one who has to live with the consequences of your actions. Start prioritizing your happiness above being a people pleaser. It's your turn to be the main character of your story.
We are most alive, we have the most energy, we are most intimate with our best selves when we're progressing towards our mighty mission. I think what's happened on the planet right now is there's been a great seduction and a great brainwashing. When we are kids, we want to be astronauts. We want to do all our dreams. And we're full of curiosity and we're loving. And we're passionate, and we're strong. We're not afraid to be ourselves. But as we leave the perfection of childhood, the hypnosis and the brainwashing begins. Be reasonable. So that's our nature, but our parents give us limitation based on their limited psychology. And don't sing too loudly, don't dream too big, don't be too passionate. As we've left who we truly are, we've contracted. And now it's all about staying safe in the world versus going out there and letting our brilliant, our primal genius shine. And a lot of people just have stuffed that pain of disappointment and their doubt really deep inside, and they just are addicted to distraction and escapes because they don't want to deal with their potential that they've denied.
Before you can be a painter who can paint what's beyond mere memory, you have to inculcate that discipline skill, and a lot of that is painful repetition and hard grinding work. It's the sacrifice of the present for the future. But once you manage that, then things open up. And virtually everything you learn of value is like that. And while you're learning those rules, the probability that you have any creative freedom to speak of or any facility with the rules is very low. You're a rank beginner. And even to some degree, whatever creativity you have is going to have to be stifled while you're passing through that keyhole. But if you pass through it, then something massive opens up on the other side. You have to narrow yourself first, and then you can broaden outward.
Anybody, not just Navy SEALs, but anybody that can accomplish anything that is hard. The only separator is that they really want to be there. There's some people that get inspired, and that inspiration moves them to try to do something. But that inspiration, I watch a movie about some badasses, you're inspired. But the second you're not in this environment, and you're actually doing what inspired you, that suck factor is now real. One of the real reasons we don't do the things that frighten us is because we are afraid of being judged. And so to become fearless, why not find some time every day to practice becoming fearless? Stop resisting. I encourage you, stop resisting the natural flow of epic performance. Stop resisting the natural seasons of life.
But something that the more somebody goes after it, the better off I'm going to be. The more it's going to push me towards my goals. And that thing is, and if somebody has a better answer, I will take it. But the only way to build your ego that is truly anti-fragile that I have found is to be the learner. to be willing to admit when you're wrong, to look at your goal and work backwards and say, is what I'm doing actually moving me towards my goal or not? Not does it make me feel good about myself, not am I right, not am I smart. Is it moving me towards my goal? And if it is, then you do it. And if it doesn't, then you don't.
It is better to live courageously than cowardly. Better to live truthfully than in deceit. And you can tell that too, because that's also what you tell people that you love. And we know that you should pick up your damn responsibility and move forward. Everyone knows that. It's part of our intrinsic moral nature, and that nature is there.
Greatest heartbreak is being untrue to yourself. There's something I believe in, which is instinct is much more powerful and wiser than intellect. And I think when all of us trust our instinct in a world that says intellect and logic is everything, fine, your destiny doesn't knock, it whispers. And so it wasn't this epiphany, it was just, I think when you start to trust your instinct and trust yourself versus the world, and you sort of block out the opinions of other people, the pace of synchronicity starts to open up, and these doors that you're supposed to walk through start to present themselves to you.
But if you want to have the passion to make something big, to make big change, it's got to be something that you believe in beyond reasonable doubt. It's got to be something you've just got to make happen. So ask yourself, do I want to know more about this than anyone else? Because you're going to have to get better at it than anyone else if you want to be excellent and deliver on the promise.
That's the ethical requirement of individual being in the proper sense, is to constantly note that you're not what you could be, to take responsibility for that, and to commit yourself, like body and soul, to the attainment of that ideal.
For some people, it's been asleep for a long time because they're afraid. They're afraid that I'm gonna get hungry, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna fail. And so it's human nature to protect yourself from the fear by just lowering your expectations. But one of the things I've learned is you get what you tolerate. You get what you tolerate in yourself, you get what you tolerate in your life, and sooner or later, we sometimes hit a point where we say, not another day, not another hour, this is done. I'm not walking this way, I'm not talking this way, I'm not living this way, I'm not gonna be in this relationship anymore, I'm gonna change it. And when people do that, that's the beginning of a breakthrough.
Happiness is not about achieving things. It's not about getting the result. It's about how you pursue the things that you enjoy and why you're pursuing them. And so the key to life, and I'm seeing it happen in my own life, is not actually checking the boxes and getting all those things that you dream about. It's how you go about living your life as you're pursuing. What do I have to look forward to? Nothing if you've already achieved it, which is why it's so important for you to understand that the real meaning of happiness is about how you show up every day. Yes, you should have big goals. Yes, you should have big dreams. Yes, 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 and yes, you should pursue them. Oh, don't ever think that, quote, making your dreams come true is what actually makes you happy. Because what actually makes you happy is having those big dreams and waking up every morning and doing a little something to push yourself to make it happen. It's about the pursuit.
Success is not measured on the days when the sun shines. Success is measured on the dark, stormy, cloudy days. And if you can't absorb failure, you're never going to meet success.
The emotionally immature man seeks out motivation to do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times.
You are 100% disciplined to all your current habits. If your current habits are not leading you in the direction of your dreams, a powerful new decision must be made. Discipline gets exponentially easier when you first make a decision and then commit to that decision. What's the decision that needs to be made? How you're going to show up for yourself, for your life, and for your dreams. And who you're going to be today.
You can spend your whole life looking back at your past, but that time is gone. What's important is right here, right now. You're not defined by your traumas. You're more than that. But it's up to you to bring yourself back. Write your own story. You're the hero. It's time.
Life has a habit of tossing us difficulty, struggle, and hardship. And it's natural, it's needed. In those spaces is when we have the opportunity to grow the most. Rarely do we grow when we're in spaces of comfort and warmth and protection. In life, we see it all too often. You're starting to level up, you're starting to progress, you have these big lofty goals, you have these things that you're walking towards, you're pushing towards, and inevitably, you get smacked in the mouth. You fall down, you get told stop, get back in your box. It's not meant for you, it's meant for somebody else. And my message is this, it's meant for you. It's meant for all of us. But in that space, we have to remember that we got to get out of our own way. This is the year. This is our opportunity. I'm mindful that the harder we push towards greatness, the harder resistance is pushed towards us to keep us where we are.
You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of what other people will think of you if you fail. But if you're afraid of that, imagine what they think of you when you aren't even trying. Oh yeah, they aren't.
Major reason why people fail in life is because of the expediency factor. That we always do, and we always take the fastest and easiest route to get the things that we want. But the fastest and easiest route in life is almost always the route to failure. It's short-term gain for long-term pain. We do what is fun and easy today instead of what is hard and necessary, and then we have to do what is hard and necessary at the end of our life. It's too late. And you'll find that the willingness and the ability to discipline yourself, to be clear about what it is you want, to be clear where you're going, to be clear about the results that you're expected to accomplish, and then to only work on those results. The ability to discipline yourself to do that is absolutely critical to success.
Don't wait. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start today. Start now. Start being who you're supposed to be and doing what you're supposed to do now. Things just don't go your way. That's not the way the world works. You gotta make them go your way. Think things are gonna just go your way? Well, they're not gonna just go your way. You think things are gonna just happen for you? Well, they're not just gonna happen for you. You gotta make them happen. Guess what? That's the way life is. You don't have enough time. You gotta make time. It's not just gonna happen. You gotta make it happen. Go make things happen.
Who are you on those days you don't want to do things? It's easy to conquer when it's good weather. You got good sleep. Work's going good. The family's good. You feel great. Your body's not injured. Those are the easy days to conquer. But who are you on those days when all hell's broke loose? You're miserable. Who are you on those days? Those people who get up on those days when everything's up and still grind? That's the separator right there.
Your haters are out there holding their breath, waiting for you to fail. Make sure they suffocate.
Discipline does not have to be all grit and denial. Discipline is giving the current version of you the boundaries and the new rules so that the next level of you can take over and create the life of your dreams. Because the current version of you can't get there. Draw the line in the sand. Raise the bar for yourself. Create systems and fail-safes that make it easy for you to stay disciplined and successful. Expect more of yourself, and then get to work.
You know how you judge and you measure a good man? A good man does the right thing even when it's not the easy thing. That's how you judge the character of a good man. A good man does the right thing even when it's not the easy thing. Because most people, when something is difficult, it alters their character. Right, most people, when a challenge is present, it alters their character, their thought process, their perspective, what they say they value, what they say they were a part of.
What have I found that you do about terrible things? Generally, you don't run from them, especially if they're not avoidable in the future. Generally, you stand, confront, decompose, understand, adapt. But just because you generally do that and it's the best bet doesn't mean it's definitely going to work. It's just the best shot you have at it. You know, it'd be lovely if something always worked, but if something always worked, people would never get sick and die. Right, and we do all the time. So we do our best, but that doesn't mean that that always works, but it's still the best that can be done. It's still the alternatives.
So it's very important for us to have reasons to be excited about life. Like when you wake up in the morning, it can't just be about problems.
Everything that's life must happen to you. Have you come here to avoid life, or have you come here to experience life? Experience life, all the different dimensions of what this life holds.
What is your compassion for the world? Like, what problem do you want to solve? People will say, there's so many things I could do, there's so many things. I'm like, my question is not what causes you the greatest joy. Sometimes my question is, what causes you the greatest pain? Someone out there who's not living to their potential, and I think we're better people, we're better partners, and we're better parents when we live to our potential.
All of us have kind of an identity for ourselves, a way of defining ourselves. And human beings don't usually stray from that. And it's all consistent with the fact that human beings, our strongest drive is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. Now that's just a story. And if you tell yourself a story long enough, you start to believe it, and once you believe it, you act like it.
He said, in every situation, between the situation and your response, there's a space. It might only be a millisecond, but in that space, you have the ability to choose how you're going to react or respond. When you react, whatever you're reacting to is in control of you, whether it's another person, a condition, or a circumstance. When you respond to the same thing, you stay in control.
When perfectionism hinders your ability to have joy, to pursue something because of your fear of failure, or you're never good enough, or you can't relish your accomplishment, it becomes maladaptive.
A battlefield that goes on in your mind all the time. And there's bombs that are exploding all the time. Fear, anxiety, I'm not good enough. And a lot of times you're making those bombs explode, or somebody else is making those bombs explode, right? You have to take control of that space.
To transform your life, you want to do it in 2 minutes. So is that what your life is worth? So if your life is worthwhile, is it not important that you invest a certain amount of time and energy rather than looking for this stupid stuff of one mantra with which I will transform my life? It will not happen like that. That's the reason why most people have remained the way they have remained, because they've not invested in their well-being.
The space between our ears, we don't have control over it. A lot of other people have set shop in it. They're like, they've like taken the most expensive real estate in the world. You gotta make sure you control that battlefield that's going on in there. It's your space, it's your mind. You're going to have negative thoughts. You are. Just changing your thought is not going to change your action. It may change your perspective, but you still have to continue to push forward.
Now, I don't think that we're born blank slates, but we are so close to that. To worry about where your limits are is to miss how much you can improve. So focus on how much you can improve. There's an amazing quote by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and what he said was, "The line between good and evil runs through every human heart." To me, it's not about good and evil. To me, it's about malleability. That's a statement of how shapeable we are. Now, here's the terrifying thing about how we get shaped. It happens when you're young. You get all these things that come to you that seem to be simply true. I believed that the human mind couldn't change. I believed that it was fixed. I believed that my talent and intelligence were just what they were. And one of my favorite quotes of all time is from Albert Einstein. And he said, the most important decision any human being has to make is whether they live in a friendly or a hostile universe. Decision. The most important decision anyone has to make. Because neither of those two states is empirically true, but either will immediately appear true once you decide to believe it. So once you decide to believe, yo, the world is working for me, this is happening for me, it's not happening to me. Once you believe that, you start looking for the ways in which that was powerful. How is the worst thing that ever happened to me actually secretly the best thing that's ever happened to me? You could be one of any countless identities that we see in the world. But we don't, because each of these places carries with it a value system, a belief system, things that are unique to that group that you grow up in, what your parents tell you about your family, about you, what it means to be you, what you learn in schools, what you see in the media, all of that stuff is shaping how you view yourself and how you view the world. But it's happening insidiously because it is so invisible. People don't realize that they are choices. Now, once you reframe all of this as these are things that I'm choosing to believe, and once you realize you can choose to believe something new and thusly get a different result, everything changes.
I love the quote that says, I don't fear success. I fear succeeding at something that doesn't matter.
People want to find their passion, but you don't find it, you create it. And you create it by getting good at something. And to get good at stuff, you start by doing something you suck at. Then you get good, then you like it, then people ask how you found your passion. Answer, by starting when you sucked and not giving up.
Everything that you want is on the other side of hard. I just think about stacking days. Just keep stacking days. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change.
It's possible for you, the one who stays up late, putting in extra hours of studying just to pass the class. You, the one who's working 2 jobs to make ends meet. One who's putting extra hours, extra reps in the gym because they believe that their strength is a gift worth sharing with others. Imagine producing the greatest work you've ever produced because it came from your heart. That's the calling. And I know you know it's deep within you. I know you hear it, but I don't know if you'll answer. That part is entirely up to you.
I'm gonna be real with you. Your family's not going to understand it. The people in your hometown aren't going to support you. And no one's gonna believe in you until you have something to show for it. That's just how it is. So when you start, do it for yourself.
Be f***ing great. Put the time in to learn the skills. Put the skills into practice and make a commitment to becoming so good that all your peers say, that's the fucker that's the best. And if you can do that, No matter where you are, no matter if you're cooking French fries, no matter if you're managing the restaurant, no matter if you own 1,000 restaurants, no matter if you created the fucking brand, you cannot be stopped.
All winners have got depressed. All winners have been heartbroken. All winners have been disappointed. But they kept moving forward. That's the only reason they're winners. Nobody has just winning all the time. Nobody does.
Do you feel defeated that you can never achieve what you want? It's so hard to achieve. Whatever I put my mind to, I try hard, but it doesn't work. Do you ever have those conversations? Well, you're telling yourself that it's over. You're telling these stories to yourself that you can't achieve this. Inside of your mind, you haven't decided what you really want. You're confused. So it's time for you to find clarity on what do you really want. Do you want this to work? Then all your statements, all your chatters should be about making it happen.
I think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
That's what it takes. To do anything successfully in life, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want. And dreams do come true. Anything you want can happen, become a reality. I believe that sincerely, and I'll die on that thought.
You don't start things and not finish. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish.
Remember this, you can't just quit.
We finish everything. You start it, finish it.
If you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen.
Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off. Say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
What the f is your life? Are you happy with it? See, the thing about life, we're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die. But our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable forever. But it's gotta be built right. And we gotta take advantage of the time we have right now. What have you done with your life to make it something else besides the normality of everybody else? The intake and the outtake of what you call life is nothing more than time. And unless done something with, it's forgotten about. There's no footprint of your existence left for anyone else to follow.
What happens is, you have all these voices, and this can be hard, but for some reason, you put so much practice into you that you can ignore every one of them that are telling you you're not gonna make it, and still be able to make it. Because you have put the practice in that you know this is the process. It's such a daunting task that all the voices are saying no. But you still had the conviction that I know I can do this.
They don't realize that they still hold the pen. There's thousands of empty pages still in that book that they can rewrite that story. But we have to let go of the pages that others have written in our book and realize we got this pen. And we can start writing how the story looks from this day forward.
A lot of us are being forced into solitude right now, in our homes, apartments, wherever we live. But we're also being forced into solitude in our own minds. Life is the most brutal endurance sport of all time. And that's what we have to love about it. We have to flip it on its head and love the fact that life continues to attack us. There are no timeouts. You have to be that person who's always prepared. But the solitude right now that a lot of us are dealing with is what we don't want to deal with. It's the fact that we have to think about all these things that we don't like about ourselves. We like to use life as a big escape. That escape is not there anymore. All these distractions that we use, they're no longer there. Stop looking at me or other people out here to be the hero of your story. Knowing one thing in life, we are all very fragile in this world. We have to know that when we die with some meaning and some purpose in this world.
What do I think of people that say, find your passion? I will say they mean very well, but they don't understand what passion actually is. So I think because a rare breed of individual develops a passion when they're young, they then mistake it for, I found my passion, but that's not really true.
Every day you just get up and I don't fear anything, but I worry about everything. And the day you stop worrying in good times, the paddle will get your behind. And so as great as things are in life, I know you're only a few steps or a few incidents away from something bad happening. You can never forget it.
The real ballast for you emotionally and ethically is that you want other people to be happy. You want them to have beautiful lives. You want them to realize their dreams. You realize that there's the sense that there's a zero-sum contest between your well-being or your happiness and others. It's not transactional. You realize that that is actually a state of being. That's the way that could be the default state of your own consciousness if you could only locate it.
To see these negative thoughts, objectifying them and calling them demons, because then we no longer have to own them. It's very different to try to will yourself against yourself, because a lot of times that's what it is. It's like you're fighting against yourself. But if you recognize that these thoughts come from without, that they don't belong to you, right? You can project your energy out at the entity that keeps knocking at your door.
It was just a God-given gift. But also remember, I didn't get a lot of those other gifts. Don't ask me to play that guitar. Don't ask me to sing you a song. And don't ask me to draw you anything. But you've got to know your God-given gifts. And everybody has it. Everybody in this room has it right here. So do what you know was your God-given gift.
The pursuit of mastery, when you realize that you can not only do something for yourself, but you can influence the world, that becomes the real passion, because you're developing the set of skills that means something to you, and it allows you to do something in the world that other people cannot do.
Time out now for you to stop avoiding things. Get that pen and paper out. Look inside yourself.
If you're just serving yourself, I don't think it will ever be quite the optimistic, uplifting, self-continuing thing that it could otherwise be.
Most of humanity, even at this moment, doesn't have the free attention to really think seriously about what it means to be happy. You know, it's just, I mean, when you just look at the economic comparatives of, you know, most people in most situations, it's not about really having the free attention to do whatever you want or what you would think at the end of the day would be most satisfying.
I think people can feel very out of control, and I mean, there's something jarring about learning that everything, the things that feel most true to you about reality, are possibly not structured that way.
So when you're serving other people and you're doing something that uplifts other people, but with a skill set that you had to work your ass off to get, and it's a skill set that you love, and you love the acquisition of that skill set, then there's a light airiness to it that feels uplifting. And if you can get in that loop, then you're good.
You're lost in thought almost every moment of your life, and much of your thinking has this mediocre character of causing you to worry about the future and regret the past, and just feel a baseline dis-ease with life.
They're just the little bitty things. And I just think that it's easy to separate yourself from anybody else, no matter what your position is. If you go to work for a company and you don't go up the corporate ladder, it's your fault. Nothing goes unnoticed, okay? And I tell people that all the time. If you want to separate yourself, it's easy to do because somebody above you is going to notice it. Your peers are going to notice it. It is easy to separate yourself from anybody else.
Life is going to be a grand struggle until you understand that you are a chemical processing plant. And once you understand how to take control of the chemical processing, and then you can do virtually anything you want. You can create desire, you can stay focused, you can improve, but you really do have to put yourself in a position to adapt or die. Your body has to believe. Those are my two options, adapt or die. And then it really will adapt.
Is to get into a position where thoughts are like thieves entering an empty house. There's just no possible problem. So to truly be indifferent to between a good thought and a bad thought, that's the real superpower.
No one will act for the many, but people will act for the one. So basically, stop thinking about solving the world's problems. Find somebody you know and love that has that problem and solve it for them.
Times, get good. And it goes back to what I once again preach. When times are really bad, we forget they're ever going to be good again. And when times are really good, we forget they're going to be bad again. And we need to always remember that so the paddle doesn't get you.
I'll start with this. 2 hands, putting it to work. The thing that has worked for me is to remember the hard times. And I just remind myself, all right, I was evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island, we couldn't live in Hawaii, had no place to live.
It's also a lot easier to let go of something when you're deciding to let go of it, because you've decided yourself that you're done with that. It's a weak part of you. It needs to disappear.
People can live with themselves. That's the first thing. A lot of people can live with themselves, look in the mirror and say, I'm okay with being afraid. A lot of us are going through a hard time in life. Some people have been bullied. Some people are just stressed out. Some people are insecure. Some people are fat and overweight.
I leave home like you guys left home. I'm ready to tackle the world, get after it, achieve my dreams and goals. Crushed by 22, 23 years old. Now I got to move back in with my mom and dad.
A lot of what people regard as their own personalities and are proud of about their own personalities aren't their own personalities at all. They're useless idiosyncrasies that differentiate them trivially from other people.
You have to first be uncomfortable with how you feel about yourself. With that voice that a lot of us like to run away from, we all have it.
And if I could be who I needed to be, what would that look like? Self-deception and arrogance. To be proud of your insufficiency, that's a very foolish thing. And that means to cling to the parts of you that are dead.
So we first have to face the real you, who knows I'm weak, who knows I'm afraid, who says, whatever you think about me, take it, whatever, I'm here.
At some point, you got to be tired of not being number one.
You have to accept what you're not. And people don't want to do that. And that's the only way you can fix it. You have to accept it first before you can go on the journey.
As you elevate your aim, you create a judge at the same time. The new ideal, which is an ideal you, becomes a judge because it's above you, right? And then you're terrified of it, maybe.
Who they want to be, they act like they are, but they're not because they haven't fixed all this stuff yet. We got to fix this first before we can start our journey in life.
Get rid of everything about yourself that isn't perfect.
There's nothing you can't accomplish.
The other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen.
The judge that you're creating by formulating the ideal tells you what's useless about yourself, and then you can dispense with it.
People are writing you off. It should drive you. It should. It works for me. It should drive you.
You're setting the example every single day of your life. You may retire, but you ain't ever coming back home, man. And now you're judged.
embrace the darkness. You do have to embrace the rage.
Every single person that you look up to, your favorite person in the entire world, is a failure, has been at one point or another a failure.
Dissatisfaction it's an innate part of our psychology. There's no amount of money or success or love that you're ever going to achieve where you're like, cool, I'm done. I got it.
The moment you realize the next step isn't going to kill you, and that next step is the first step to evolving, changing, growing, and learning, and becoming literally the best version of yourself, that's the most beautiful thing.
You gotta have a reason why, and most people who succeed ultimately have a strong reason why. I look at rage and darkness as a supercharger. I have a reason why, and the supercharger on top of that engine is my rage and darkness.
So many people in life, through no fault of their own, have a bar set for themselves, a glass ceiling set for themselves that they don't even know is there.
I think more people ought to put themselves in positions where they deal with adversity and challenges so that they can develop some sense of anger and darkness and rage.
The more we struggle with meaning or purpose in our lives, the more hope we look for to kind of compensate for that.
You almost have to take the huge goal and shelf it. Don't forget about it, but shelf it and now focus on everything that's small to get there.
I think we focus so much on trying to be perfect when really we just need to be successful. Even if you failed, that failure was an event. It's not who you are. It's not a person.
We're surrounded today by people being satisfied with mediocre. As soon as I realized that I could believe in myself, that it opened up a lot of the doors.
It's not bulletproof, but this armor that we have around us, and that armor has chinks in it. We all have our own insecurities, our own fears, our own limited beliefs, our own limited mindset. We are imperfect humans with these doubts and these cracks in what you see, and you do that by one chapter in a book or one video or one minute or 5 minutes of visualization and seeing yourself winning.
Put yourself in a position where you're going to thrive, not where it's going to be comfortable. But society, parents, whoever have set the standard for you to not play it safe, take risks. What if you lose? What if you lose? Who cares? As long as you don't die, you can come right back.
I said, what do you want? What's your passion? What are you trying to accomplish? You can't formulate a plan and figure out the steps unless you know where you're trying to go. How can you go somewhere if you don't know where you're trying to go?
And so the fighter jet mentality is that someone who is just determined, relentlessly obsessed in achieving an outcome in the face of all adversity.
So failure is an event, not a person. Every single person that we've looked up to has gone from failure to the next failure to finally triumph.
Have to move to start feeling something. And if you move and start feeling something, you're on your way to the best version of yourself.
We're so afraid of being vulnerable. We're terrified of being honest. We're so used to being judged and being held to a standard that society sets for us that we don't give ourselves permission to even ask these questions, let alone answer them.
Decide what you need to do and act.
The foundation of all strength is pain.
Embrace pain. Pain is something to embrace. If there's no resistance to you, you're not going to get anywhere in life.
The purpose of a goal is not getting it anyway. The purpose of a goal, who you become. Who you become is going to make you happier. It's going to make you sad.
Because some people think when you lose a dream or you lose something, that it's over. But you didn't lose who you are. You lost that thing, that placement. Life might not be adding up to what you wanted to add up to, but at least you have another, every single day is a new beginning. Every day is a new beginning. And certain days aren't gonna look like you want them to look, but at least you have another chance. Like 150,000 people die every day. That's 55 million people a year. If you're looking for a blessing, realize that's your blessing. You have another opportunity at life. The only way you're gonna get strength in your life is if you go through that hard moment, that tough moment. Realize this, just because it's a chapter, it doesn't mean it's your whole story.
Most people think the things that are temporary are the permanent things. The temporary passing, I'm going through a breakup. You don't understand that in a month you're gonna be okay. When you're in a low, when you're feeling bad, you think that thing you're feeling is how you're gonna feel forever, which is what makes it feel worse. All of your emotions are temporary. They're passing things. So most of our pain comes from believing, I believe, that we should keep holding on to these things that are really heavy in our lives.
We're constantly looking at life. What is it? What is it? Where are we? Look how interesting. Look at different cultures, different beliefs. How do they come to that? How do I feel about that? What do I think? It is a daily adventure. You have your voice. It's there. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Create. Don't let anyone stop you.
When you can realize that your worst days were truly your best days. When you can realize that every human being goes through pain and injustice, some more than others, but everyone goes through it. Everyone's had someone be completely unjust to them. Everyone has had someone hurt them who they loved and cared for deeply, or they trusted, or they looked to for support or love. It's part of how we grow spiritually. There's no possibility to build muscle without something you have to lift. And if you don't lift it, it will crush you. And if you lift it, it will be painful. It's not easy to lift those things. But the day in which you finally find inside yourself the story and state that finally makes you no longer be willing to be pressed down by your past, that day your life not only changes, but you also now have the ability to give the gift to others. And the most beautiful day, though, is the day when you go, if it wasn't for all that I hated most, I wouldn't have what I love most. Realizing that there was a meaning in all of it and that it served something greater than just little me.
We live in a constant state of fear of missing out. We're always thinking about what we have pending, the plans, the future, our vision. There's almost like this ADD quality to life now, and especially now with social media and with all the things coming at us so fast. And if you're committed to creating big results in your life, you have plans, you have goals, but a lot of that steals time and steals moments from us. And the magic is in the moment. I'm here, I'm all in, I'm engaged with you. Because so many people are not present, they miss out on things, they miss out on life. And I think that one of the biggest problems that we have is that we think that where we are isn't it. This is not it. And so we think that happiness or joy or fulfillment is in the future, or it was in the past and we lost it. One of the things that we do is we miss out on the moment and we don't realize that happiness is right now. Because the only moment that we really have is this one. There is no other moment. The next moment is a promise. The next moment is an idea. The last moment is over. We live life like we have forever. We live life like there's a guarantee of tomorrow. And I don't know there's another moment. And so when I live life from this is the only moment I have, I'm living life from urgency. And so I'm living life from I may not see you again.
So let me be present. Or we may not pass this way again. And so when I live from the moment, what I'm doing is I'm celebrating it, I'm acknowledging it, and I'm able to be present in it. And so what stops me from that is the guilt of the past and the anxiety of the past and the resistance of what I've been through, afraid of going through it again. Embrace and accept where you are. That what's happening right now is actually happening for you. That what's happening right now is your benefit. Because as long as I'm thinking that this relationship isn't it, this moment isn't it, this house isn't it, this career isn't it, what I'm doing is I'm putting all of my happiness on a result. Me being grateful for the moment that I have, whether it could be a bad moment, it could be an amazing moment, because my happiness is up to me. And so my enjoying of this moment is up to me. And so when I'm able to embrace the moment and live in it, then I'm present. So many people go through people's lives and they were never present, they were never there, they were never connected. They miss out, they don't remember even conversations. I mean, you see it at funerals, people are like, what was the last thing I said to them? Or what can I remember of them? And a whole lifetime can be summed up in 2 conversations, where there were so many moments that you were with somebody that you weren't present. And so by not being present with the responsibility of what I'm creating, then what I do is I'm always thinking that this is not it and it should be different, and then we stay stuck. And then we're stuck in a situation we don't want to be in, and then we're miserable about it and we complain about it, but we don't do anything about it. You're deciding not to decide. And so you're making a choice to be in limbo, which is why so many people are unfulfilled, because they're not doing what they want to do. If you're in a career that you're not all in, get out. If you're in a relationship you're not all in, get out. Be in ownership of whatever moment you're in. Most people are spectators. They're like watching, they're observing. They show up to a place and they observe. They go to the party and I don't like the food, I don't like the vibe's weird. And then they're in this observer mode, or they show up into situations. It's their life, but they're a spectator. What is your intention when you're sitting down with your significant other? What is your intention when you go into the board meeting? What is your intention when you're talking to your employees? What is your intention when you talk to your mom? So what's the experience that you want to create when you're with that person? Accountability is love. Holding people accountable is saying, I love you. When I hold you accountable, I'm saying you're capable of a bigger game. And so holding people accountable to being present creates an environment of people being present. And also there's the whole thing of wanting more money, more followers, more success, more of whatever, something hotter, something brighter. And we don't realize that the key to joy and happiness is happening right now, this moment. This is the moment. All of those things will never bring fulfillment and don't bring people back and don't bring memories back. Some people are so on auto, it's like we live on autopilot. And this moment's the most important moment you have, because you may not have another one. You may not wake up tomorrow. The plane may not land. So I think that if we live more consciously present and be present with the people that we love, express how we feel today, make every moment count, this will elevate people's lives.
Winston Churchill said many years ago, history will be kind to me for I intend to write it. A heartbreak, a breakup, parents getting a divorce, a fight, getting bullied. All of these things then make you, because of those experiences. Now, when that happens, you are gonna do one of 3 things. You know the whole flight, freeze, or fight. Now, you know what freeze happens? Nothing happens. Flight, nothing's happening. But fight, that part is born during those moments. What if I get asked a question that I don't have the answer to? One of the scariest things about life is a question. The scary question can shake a soul up.
Because no one's asked that question for you. If you don't ask the questions of what you want to do next, the world is going to put you in the box on what you have to do next. And you are rising up to their expectations because you're not asking the questions yourself. What life do you want to live? And why do you want to live this life? Why is it important to you? Why is it worth you putting through all these hours? Why would you want to do that? That's transition when you go through it. And then the pressure part, when you said, here's who I'm going to be, where you declare your intentions to the world. This is what I'm going to be doing. A lot of times we keep things a secret. I think declaring intention serves a purpose. I think when you go out there and you say, this is what I'm going to be doing, this is where I'm going to be at, you officially have the world holding you accountable. That pressure could be good pressure to put into your life. And the identity goes from being a regular person to the next day, no one recognizes that. Haters highlight your weaknesses. And if you're smart, you're like, he makes a good point. Hey, one day I'm going to make so much money, I'm going to shut everybody up. That doesn't work. First of all, that's not going to take place. So you have a choice. Either you can say, I don't want to deal with the voice, live a small life. But if you can't live a small life and you have to live a big life, you have to understand that it's going to be pushed. And you have to figure out a way to silence everybody. Anticipation is game. The more you tell the world how to manage expectations dealing with you and what to anticipate, you actually minimize a lot of the no's. We don't take the time to say, what are the values and principles that I'm willing to build my life on? And what really are they? What are you willing to really stand up for? You know, what is your core belief system? You got to go really deep with purpose and really deep with, if you don't move, what could take place? For people to sit there and realize, if you really want to move yourself, ask the questions, go deeper on what life could happen, both good and bad, happen to both of them, and hopefully that creates urgency for you to start taking the next necessary steps. The gift of imagination and visualization is rarely used properly.
A lot of people are unclear what they want from life. They don't sit down and think through. We are writing our own life story every day, and yet we don't think about it. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to live? What life do we want to lead? When we've finished our life, come to the end of our life and look back, what do we want to say that we've done? What do you want is a very powerful question. It says, I want to be the best, but fine. You've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder. You've got to commit more. You've got to take more responsibility. You've got to deal with more ups and downs. And if we can deal with that question, how much are you willing to suffer? How badly do you want it?
The most important thing I have found in people that I see as being very successful is a relentless desire to win. You see, the word relentless means that there is nothing that's going to get into their way that's going to keep them from getting up the next day and going after that dream or going after that goal. They have a relentless spirit that when life knocks them down, when they're getting tested on their journey to get to that goal or whatever that prize is, when they're getting knocked down, that relentless spirit gets them back up. You see, they understand that you have to be tested before you can provide testament. You have to actually be challenged along the way so that when you get to the victory, you can turn around and help people understand how you got there, actually train them and coach them on doing the same thing. You want to be tested. But if you're going to get through that, you have to have that relentless desire to win. The relentless desire to win will get you through those things. It will get you up every single time that you get knocked down. People are going to criticize you along the way. They're going to tell you why you can't get there. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough money. You don't have the tools or the skills or whatever it is. People are going to criticize you along the way and tell you that. You see, their opinion or their inability to see you winning is not your problem. Use that relentless spirit, and it's not something you're born with. You can gain that relentless spirit. It's a choice. Every single day, do I get up and I go after it again today, or do I sit back and complain about being tested? Now, the relentless spirit takes that test and turns it into testimony. They see that critic as a person that doesn't matter unless they also would take their advice. They drive forward every single day and relentlessly pursue the person they know that they can be. Find that relentless spirit in your dreams.
The kite represents your dreams, your goals, your desired results, or projected outcome. The wind represents an opposition in all things, lack of capital, negative family members, and then bad influence from your friends. People who say, hey, get your head out of the clouds, stop dreaming. Whatever that opposition in all things is a reality.
Most people don't go and they don't chase their dreams because the people around them tell them shit that just isn't true. Hey, be realistic. What do you think you're gonna do? Become J.K. Rowling? You had a great career. You need to be thankful. Don't forget where you came from, right? We hear all this shit every day from a bunch of losers, and it gets in our heart and our mind, and it causes us to hesitate. So your goal here is to realize that we only have one existence, we only have one opportunity, and you need to ask yourself, what are you gonna value at the end of your life? Are you gonna value the work that you did? Are you gonna value the things that you created? Or are you gonna value doing what everybody else expected of you?
If I'd allowed conformists to project their small thinking onto my life, it's almost terrifying to think about where I would be in my life right now. Peace is really finally understanding who you are and whose you are. And so you're not a conformist. That's what cowards do. Prosperity is a birthright of yours. I don't just mean wealth. Prosperity is a right to feel prosperous, to feel as if you're growing, to feel as if you're expanding. And when you are tapping into those parts of you and changing the way you behave, you're gonna begin to like you a lot more. You're gonna begin to love you a lot more. We do not attract into our lives what we really desire. We attract into our lives who and what we are. And long term, human beings find a way to be consistent about what they believe about themselves. You can have a new identity at any time you want in your life. You were born to do something great with your life, and it already exists within you.
Imagine if I told you right now, you are 24 no's away from having $1 billion company. How excited would you be to get your first no? How fast would you want to get your second no? There's only so many no's in between you and what you want.
If you turned on the news to see that an asteroid would wipe out Earth in 12 hours, and there wasn't a thing you can do about it, what would you do? Of course, it would be reasonable to panic at first, but I mean, after some time, would you continue to be in denial, running around frantically, searching for a solution that simply didn't exist? Or would you accept it, break out a chair, head to a spot with a nice view, play your favorite song, and watch it all unfold? Acceptance is a beautiful thing, you know? It allows you to see the beauty in things, even amid the chaos. Many of us spend our days in distress, worrying about what is simply out of our control. You carry the weight of the world on your back, anxious, almost in a state of paranoia, and it is taking away your ability to truly enjoy life, when really, whether you worry or not, the outcome is not affected. So you might as well find a sense of comfort in the fact that whatever your asteroid is beyond your reach. And it's funny, when you do that, it allows you to actually focus on the things that are. Your health, your profession, your passions. We so easily lose sight of these things when what's out there is weighing on our mind. We cannot have that, because our vision, our goals and aspirations, our family, our future wife or husband and children, and the generations to come after them are affected by the decisions that we make today. Therefore, it is essential that we are able to accept what is beyond our reach and bring our focus and attention to what is. Enjoy this experience, my friend. Do away with the mental burden. I'll even smile when it all goes wrong.
How you handle that dark forest, how you handle that dark moment determines everything. And you want to know the people that go from good to great to unstoppable? They didn't run from that dark moment. They don't think about that dark moment as they get older, but they never forget. And when you never forget, that internal fire never goes out. It never, never goes out.
The Stoic philosopher is the man who has liberated himself from fear. He's not afraid of death,
He's not afraid of pain. He's not afraid of other people's dismissal as a fool. The only thing he cares about is that he should meet his moral obligations. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said that greatness is the perception that virtue is enough, which is an elegant and beautiful line, because all of the Stoics basically believe that. Virtue, moral virtue, an organized soul which pursues rationally the ends which are good for all human beings. They finally understand their greatness consists in the fact that they perceive that virtue is enough. We do not need wealth. We do not need life itself. If moral virtue tells us that we must die in the pursuit of some good end, the protection of our family, the protection of our home, the protection of the innocent, in the doing of right, nothing should be spared, not even our lives.
You said I was ready. You are. Ready for what? To face yourself. I've done that already. You've only glanced at the reflection, never stepped through the mirror and what's on the other side. Everything you've buried, waiting to be seen. What if I don't like what I find? You won't. But that does not change its existence. I'm afraid. Okay? I know. Fear has shaped you, chained you, defined you. But it is not your prison. What else would it be? A key.
You're much better than you think you are, and you need to remember that most of the doubt and most of the things that you struggle with were installed in you by people around you who have already given up on what their life could have been, and they want you to do so as well because it makes them feel more comfortable about their mediocre existence. You don't really have limits. You have what you have been told your limits are, and you have chosen to believe that those are your limits, and that's why you have this problem going for the things you really want and instead going for the things that are more realistic.
If you want the future to change for you, you've got to change. If you don't change, the next 6 years of your life is going to be just like the last 6. You'll still be behind on your bills. You'll still be behind on your promises. If you will change, everything will change for you. If you will get better, everything will get better for you. If you'll change your philosophy, if you'll change your habits, if you'll refine your thinking, if you'll change and accept some new disciplines, if you'll turn the corner where you've been in the past, go for a new life of the future, all kinds of remarkable things will happen for you if you will change.
I didn't fail, I fell. And as long as I get up, I win.
The man who never fell has no glory. The man who fell and got back up, that's where his glory is.
Failure is part of the formula for success. So you learn, you make mistakes, you get better, you make more advanced mistakes.
As long as you get up, you win. The winning isn't getting up. So many people think they failed. They didn't fail. They stopped. You stopped.
The man who fell 20 times and got up 21 times, that man has even greater glory. That man has more courage, way more courage than the guy who was so strong from birth that he never failed. There's no glory in that.
Fail as much as humanly possible.
Don't be afraid of failing, because there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to fail in order to climb that ladder.
You're gonna die never even trying to reach your full potential. And how's that gonna feel? If you wrote a book right now about your life and you gave it to someone, would it change their life for the better? If not, you gotta get to work.
The alarm goes off. You have a choice. I can either sit there and continue to dream, or I can get up and chase down those dreams. Those of us who are willing to chase down your dreams know to put your feet on the floor and get going. That the longer I stay there in the comfort of my bed, I will let days go by that I cannot reclaim. While I'm full of strength, while I'm full of goals and aspirations, while I have the will to do it, if I slack off now, I'll lack off later. I will lack of everything that I wanted, of everything I dreamed of. You see, most people don't realize that your greatest success will come right behind your greatest failures. You will lay there and wallow and be discouraged and be depressed, and it's natural to be down. You will go through ups and downs. Life is a roller coaster, but you're not on a roller coaster. You're on a path.
It's really heavy when you start to look at your life, your health, family, your relationships, and you look at all those things that are messed up in all those areas. And when you say all those things, all those problems in my business, my life, my health, all those things are my fault, that's really a heavy weight to bear. But it's also extremely liberating, because if it's all your fault, you're the one that can fix it.
Anytime you're feeling upset of any sort is the result of the meaning you associate to an expectation.
They're not afraid about tomorrow because of how they see themselves, because of what they feel that they deserve, because of what they feel that they can create for themselves. Because these people have decided, as they look at the future, as they look at themselves, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way for me to begin to create a way out of no way. And when you have that kind of consciousness, when you have that kind of spirit, nothing can stop you.
Bro, there are those of you in this room, you're average, you have no business being average, but now you, look, I'm not even upset that you're average, but now you justify it. Like you come up with these great reasons of why you can't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And that you built for it. You still here. Despite everything that you went through, everything that you're going through, and everything you're gonna go through, you are still here. You are built for it. That struggle that's coming against you, you are built for it. Those people that turn your back on you, you are built for it. That person that walked out of your life, you are built for it. That job does not appreciate you, you are built for it. The grind that you're going on trying to start your business, being an entrepreneur, and it's tough, you are built for it. And I want every one of you to know that, man. You got a strength inside of you that's greater than anything that comes against you. And you gotta truly believe that. We gotta stop running. We gotta stop hiding. We gotta stop folding when times get hard.
Of course, I get worn down. Of course, I get frustrated with stuff. Of course, things don't always go my way. But what do I do when those things happen? I keep going. Because worn down isn't equal. And frustration is not gonna kill me. And the things that don't go my way, they just turn into targets that I'm going to attack harder. And when I do come up short, it's okay, because I just learned one more thing that's going to get me over the top.
Get there if you don't give up. This is why we have to have an idea or plan or purpose. And once it is placed in your mind, you've got to put that thing in repetitious mode and be like, I got to do reps to get there. I've got to remind myself daily. I've got to lift daily. I've got to run another mile. I got to believe when no one else believes in me. I got to get up and go. And once I get my get up and go, everything that I wanted comes closer.
You are built for it, yes. Sometimes seasons aren't favorable. But don't you ever forget this truth. You are highly favored.
The step you take towards your aspirations is how you arrive to the destination called success. You will arrive there, and then you'll look at it and say, if I knew it would be this easy, I would have started long ago.
What would your life be like as you look toward the future if you decided, I'm not going to allow my fears to stop me? What would your life be like? What would your future be like if you decided to want that which you desire so strongly that it prepares you past your fears, that you experience the fear, as the one book says, feel the fear and do it anyway. What would your life be like? And I'm saying to you that all of us who have been entombed by fear have the capacity to resurrect ourselves.
The truth is, if you start chasing down your goals, it will come to you. And then you'll realize what those of us who have made those positive steps have. I should have dreamed bigger.
Can't none stop you except the things you give permission to.
Don't be relaxed. Get up and go again. Take a deep breath. Catch that second wind. It is not about stopping at age 50. It's not stopping at 20. It's not stopping because it's your last senior game. You don't graduate from life. You elevate in life. If I'm done here at this long, then let me test myself in the pros. You see, you have to believe that the next level is available for you. If it ends athletically, take that competitive spirit into your business. You put that into your relationships. You put that into everything that you desire to be and everything you want, and it will come. That's why you wake up. That's why you chase down goals. And that's why you become legendary.
Believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so that you can learn to appreciate them when they're right. And sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together.
Always waiting for everything to be perfect before I live my life. I'm always waiting for everything to be perfect before I live my life.
There's only one way. If you're at the bottom, there's only one way. But you gotta look up. And when you look up, there's somebody there waiting for you. If you truly believe that you have the power within you to change, the first step would be saying, I have to take responsibility for myself right now, because I gotta start thinking differently, I gotta start acting differently, I gotta start feeling differently. It's gonna be hard. If it was easy, everybody would be doing this. But how is self-love born? When a person sits through the fire and sits through all of that anxiety, all that hatred, all that anger, and keeps lowering the volume, sooner or later, the body's gonna release it.
It's dangerous to dwell on past mistakes. People sort of define themselves by the worst moments that they've ever had. You know, they're stuck in failures that they had, like when they were first getting jobs, and they always think that they're a loser, and they don't like the feeling of failure, so they keep low expectations so that they never have to feel that. You gotta get through failure. It's very important. And you get through it by just picking yourself back up and moving forward and going.
Whenever you feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past, so I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past. I'm going to become so busy working on my future and my goals that I don't have time to think about the past.
Most people let what's happening now control what they're thinking. They don't like it, and they're waiting for it to change. It'll never change. What they don't understand, what's coming is a reflection of what they're seeing inside. Everything you're thinking about is coming to you. It's all about the mind. And it's got to happen inside first if you want it to happen outside at all.
It isn't easy to keep going, especially when you don't believe that things can get better. You never know for sure what's coming, but you can choose to believe. Even if there's no guarantee, hope and belief might be all you need to keep going, to give you something to look forward to. So just know that even if it's hard right now, it won't always be, because it can get better.
Don't waste the failing. Because oftentimes, what do we do when things don't go the way we want it to go? We throw the experience away.
right? But we learn more in moments of defeat than we do when we get the victory. Because when you get the victory, nobody can tell you nothing. But when you lose, you listen. The task is to recognize that you are uniquely special. You have something to give, some talent no one else shares in quite the same way. And the second one reads, wherever you stand, be the soul of that place.
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. The most fundamental and major decision that you have to make in your life is this: do I live in a friendly or a hostile universe? Which is it? Is it a universe that is filled with hostility and anger and people wanting to hate each other and people wanting to kill each other? Is that what you see? Because when you see the world that way, that's exactly what you will create for yourself in your life.
Quality of my life is controlled by two things: meaning and emotion. The meaning you give to things controls the emotion that you feel. People come up with different meanings, and that produces different emotions, and those emotions make you make different decisions. When you're angry, you're going to decide differently than when you're playful or grateful or excited. So the secret to life is controlling meaning and emotion.
Why? We all ask why we should work this hard. Why take that many classes? You know, why take the notes? Why read the books? Why work that hard? Why? Good question, why? Best answer to why, I think, is the second question. Why not? Why not see how many books you can read, how many classes you can take, how many skills you can develop? Why not see how valuable you could become to the marketplace, to your friends, to your family? Why not see what you can make? Why not see how far you can go, how much you can see, how much you can earn, how much you can share? Why not?
Wouldn't you want to know what would happen if you spent just 1 year giving it your absolute all, giving everything your absolute all? Giving your diet your absolute all, giving your workouts your absolute all, giving your career your absolute all, giving your relationships your absolute all. How much different would your life look? How much better would you feel on a daily basis? Would you still be depressed? Would you still have anxiety? Would the problems that exist in your life now still exist in a year if you gave it your absolute all? I don't think so. I think 1 year of uninterrupted focus is going to lead to a completely different life, a completely different version of yourself, one that is unrecognizable. The next year of your life is going to happen one way or another. Time is going to pass anyway. You can come back and tell me that I'm wrong, that your life is exactly the same, but I'm willing to bet every single dollar in my bank account that you will look back and say that that was the best decision that I have ever made, and I have no idea how I was living my life before.
Basically, it all begins with how we choose to think. As you think, so shall you be. 7 little words that I think are perhaps the most important things that we can learn and master in our lives. This old proverb notion that I become what I think about all day long. And once you know that what you think about is what expands, you start getting real careful about what to think about. You don't allow your thoughts to be on anything that you don't want, or that you wouldn't want to have manifest or show up for you in your life.
Okay, well, if you have some faults and you feel insecure and inferior because of that, well, you should. Now, it shouldn't be so much that you're crippled by it and unable to take action. You shouldn't be beating yourself into the ground because you're not everything you could be, because no one is. And if you beat yourself into the ground, then you can't get up and improve. But you have to differentiate. It's like, okay, to what degree am I being hard on myself? Counterproductively critical, adopting inappropriate stereotypical representations of masculine competence. How much of my self-criticism is ill-advised? Fair enough, and you want to deal with yourself with a certain amount of care. But then, along with that, there's the, well, fix your weaknesses.
tell people, there's a daily practice. Like, if you get up and you just have no discipline whatsoever, you get no value in anything. And diets don't work when you don't do them. Exercise doesn't work when you don't do them. But most of the people have some experiences that they want to shift. And once you shift those things, your whole life changes. But life is constant growth.
Everybody is motivated by two different things. One, you have the beautiful things in your life. The flip side of that equation are the things that it's people that doubt you. I find in very acute moments, the darkness serves you better.
How specifically am I going to achieve that goal? Like, what are the strategies and the tactics? Meaning, what are you going to do? How specifically are you going to do it? By when? I'm going to ask myself empowering questions like, how can I overcome this obstacle? What can I do to overcome this obstacle? To manage your mindset and your emotions. What are you going to do to overcome the obstacles that are in your way, whether they're mental obstacles, physical obstacles, financial obstacles, strategical obstacles, tactical obstacles? Well, yeah, if you want to achieve goals, there's a thinking, there is a feeling, and there's a behavior that gets you there.
You can't give away what you don't have. Can't give away love for others if you don't have love in here to give away. If what you have in here is contempt, if what you have in here is anger, if what you have in here is fear, then these are the things you're going to be giving away in your life.
You need a sustaining meaning that's deep and profound, and deep and profound enough to get you through bad times, because there will be very bad times in your life. There'll be death, and there'll be illness, and there'll be disappointment of all sorts. And there'll be just the standard difficulties of life in the world to contend with. And you really must have something that's profound and powerful to set him against that. And I think that your voluntary adoption of the struggle to improve being is the proper antidote to that.
Right now, in most people's experience, it is me versus universe. This is how people are experiencing life. Otherwise, why continuous anxiety, fear? They think they are fighting for their life all the time. Why? They are fighting the whole universe. Individual and the universal. Being in competition with the universe is a stupid thing to do.
The thing that will make me love my life the most is to do the things that are fulfilling. And I think fulfillment has a very specific, universal formula. And that formula is work your ass off to get very good at something that you care deeply about, that allows you to serve not only yourself, but other people. That's it.
The simple thing is this. See, if your joy, your sadness, your happiness, your misery is determined by something or somebody around you, the chances of you being joyful in your life is remote.
The core of what really matters, that we are the same. And you know how I know that? Because all of us are seeking the same thing. And we'll go out into the world and each pursue based upon what you believe your talents are, what your skills are, maybe your gifts are, but you're seeking the same thing. Everybody wants to fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself.
Deep down inside, I believe most people on the planet are heartbroken. Why? Because they have betrayed the visions, ambitions, values, mission in their heart. They have betrayed their talent.
One of the things that first comes to mind, if we would just to try to say in a few words, what's mindfulness? A very common response might be, Well, it's living in the present moment. It's being in the present. And so that's a pretty good beginning. You're all very aware of how much of the time we are lost in thoughts of past and lost in thoughts of future. Sometimes very little time is actually spent in the moment, you know, because of this proliferation of thoughts. Because we can be observing experience, and we often are, through many different filters in the mind. We can be observing experience through the filter of desire. We can be observing things through the filter of anger or aversion, or through the filter of delusion, you know, where there's just a cloudiness. We're observing, we're in that mode, but the observation is being conditioned by the particular mind state.
There's no better pathway to self-realization and the ennoblement of being than to posit the highest good that you can conceive of and commit yourself to it. And then you might also ask yourself, and this is definitely worth asking, is do you really have anything better to do? And if you don't, well, why would you do anything else?
I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Because almost everything, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose.
Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it, get on. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them.
You've never done something before. You expect yourself to be awesome at it. You haven't done the work. You haven't put in the time. You haven't put in the study hours. You haven't had the experience, but you expect to be good. And because you expect to be good, but you know you're not going to be good, you don't do anything. You want to be somebody who succeeds. You want to be somebody who builds something. You want to be somebody who people write books about one day. You are going to have to be okay with being bad for a long time.
Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey.
Everybody's got to find their own path, and you have to realize that when you get on that path, you're going to fuck up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have bad fuck-ups, like really bad. But as long as you're willing to learn, and you're willing to take those as lessons about, and you're smart enough to not make those same mistakes over and over and over again, there's really nothing that you can't do.
What are you giving?
Many people will leave the universe without a trace. No one will know they were here. And in fact, under their name, we could put under there, not used up. Will anybody know that you came this way? What contribution are you giving? What will you leave? What will be different because you came this way? Someone once said that life is our gift to us, that God has given us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. What kind of gift are you formulating? One of the things that we must do is that we must be involved in working on achieving self-mastery. You must work on yourself continuously. Never be satisfied with yourself. Human being, you've got unlimited potential. You can put effort on you, and by concentrating on you and developing you, you can transform your life wherever you are right now.
The sun doesn't shine every day. The storms will come. There are times when the nights will be long and dark and you will be alone. There will be times when the darkness seems to consume everything. But don't let it consume you. Don't let it consume you. Even in the darkest times, even in the strongest storms, even when the sun is blotted out and the world is falling apart, the darkness cannot extinguish your light. Your will, your determination, no matter what is happening, no matter how hard the fight is, as long as you keep fighting, you win. Only surrender is defeat. Only quitting is the end. Because the darkness only wins if you let it. Do not let the darkness win. Fight. Fight on. To fight against the darkness is to win. So fight on.
You are not. If you never get married, you are not. If you never pass that law degree, you are not. If you never become a doctor, you are not. If you never get married, you are not. If you never have a child, you are enough like you are. And that's why God created you. You are enough.
But you've got to decide that I'm going to be fearless. I refuse to be denied. And I'm going to go all out. I'm going to be relentless. I don't care how many no's I encounter. If you want something, you've got to be relentless.
Failure is a part of the process. You have to fail to win. You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. People who never fail, never try. You have to fail. You got to get it wrong to get it right. You learn nothing from winning. You only learn from your failures.
I tell you, passion is not something you were born with. Everybody thinks they're going to turn inside like an archaeologist and find that thing, their deepest passion, the thing they always loved, hiding inside. As soon as you say it, I hope it sounds ridiculous, that you would love something that much and yet somehow be blind to it? It doesn't work like that. But if you really want a passion, you've got to go through the process of gaining mastery.
It was about changing my identity. Because at the end of the day, identity and values drive behavior.
Willpower is built through voluntary acts of quote-unquote suffering. To do hard work is to grow.
to push yourself on a project to places that frighten you is to expand your creative capabilities. Pleasure seekers don't create monument. Any creative person has to face the arrows and slings of their critics. So you get to world class through the doorway of discomfort. You do it by walking into the metaphorical hard winters of growth. That's how you train.
If you live properly, history will not be able to ignore that you lived. And that's the way you were born to live. You were born to make a mark in life that leaves fertilizer for the seed of the next generation to take root. I believe God has a dream and a vision for your life that's supposed to carry you right out into eternity, because that's what's pulling it. And that when you die, you're supposed to leave this earth not on pension, but on purpose. That it should not be I'm tired, but it should be I'm finished. Most people actually leave the earth tired, not completed. And we need to make sure that we can say at the end of our lives, it is finished, not I am retired.
People have an idea or a dream and they give up on it. No, don't do that. Work your dream until it gets hot. See, most things don't happen as soon as we think they should happen. The messenger of misery might drop in on you and say hello. Murphy's Law might come by and thump you on the head. Any number of things can happen to interrupt your flow. It's okay. Don't take it personal. Just acknowledge what's going on. It's called life. And keep on working on your dream. Continue to keep on knocking, because this is your life. This is what you love. This is your passion.
During the process of gaining mastery, you'll find out whether you actually like that thing enough to become great at it. It is my belief, whatever it is you set out to do, there should be one litmus test. You should be able to ask and affirmatively answer the following question: do I want to know more about this than anyone else in the world? Don't get into something unless you plan to be the best. That's my piece of advice. But if you want to have the passion to make something big, to make big change, it's got to be something that you believe in beyond reasonable doubt. It's got to be something you've just got to make happen. So ask yourself, do I want to know more about this than anyone else? Because you're going to have to get better at it than anyone else.
It's about facing your fears. It takes discipline to face your fears so you can conquer them. And that's what discipline is. Discipline means taking the hard road, the uphill road, to do what's right for yourself and for other people. But the discipline will not allow that. The discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will. It won't accept weakness. It won't tolerate another breakdown. The discipline can seem like it's your worst enemy. But the reality is, discipline is your best friend. It will take care of you like nothing else can. And it'll put you on that path. The path to strength and health and intelligence and happiness.
I'm saying this is a time more than ever that you want to begin to inoculate yourself with positive words, coming to conventions, showing up on meetings, being on the calls, to make yourself unstoppable, to get out of your mind the polluting negative thoughts that's causing most people to go through life
being stuffed because of volunteer victims. Somebody said that many people die at age 25 and don't get buried until they're 65 because they got so much garbage in their minds. You are here because you got a clear vision of what you want and where you're going.
The only way to build your ego that is truly anti-fragile that I have found is to be the learner. To be willing to admit when you're wrong. To look at your goal and work backwards and say, is what I'm doing actually moving me towards my goal or not? Not does it make me feel good about myself? Not am I right? Not am I smart? Is it moving me towards my goal? And if it is, then you do it. And if it doesn't, then you don't.
Where do you start? You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now. Don't just read this book. Don't just listen to the podcast. Don't just watch videos online. Don't just take notes. Don't just study them. Don't just share them with your friends. Don't just plan. Don't just mark your calendar. Don't just get motivated. Don't just talk. Don't just think. Don't just dream. No. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is that you actually do. So, do.
You see, I'm a firm believer that perspective drives performance every day of the week. Like, I'm a firm believer how an individual view what they do will always affect how they do what they do. Y'all gotta start loving your life. Be comfortable in who you are. If you come from a family right now that's broke, use that to your advantage. I use that to my advantage that I was a high school dropout, that I was homeless. I love dealing with a dude who think because he come from money, he better than me. Let's go. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? Do you got that stamina? So yeah, you might have something I don't have right now, but if I work hard, I can have what you have.
Whenever I face anything that's challenging, whenever anything sucks, I like it. It's gonna make me tougher. It's gonna give me a good story to tell. It's gonna toughen my mind. When something sucks, good. It's gonna make me tougher, and it's gonna make us stronger. So bring it.
Sit on your bed one day and ask yourself, what remarkably stupid things am I doing on a regular basis to absolutely screw up my life? And if you actually ask that question, but you have to want to know the answer, right? Because that's actually what asking the question means. It doesn't mean just mouthing the words. It means you have to decide that you want to know. You'll figure that out so fast it'll make your hair curl. What would happen if you consulted yourself about the best possible outcome for you? You might get an answer.
When people are truly passionate about what they do, you just get a chemical rush. You get the energy. You become more resourceful. When someone who doesn't have passion because they don't really want to be there anyway, they will give up way easier because they're not having a good time. It's not in them. Don't try to change the world unless you seek change the way a man whose head is on fire seeks a pond.
Because at the end of the day, when the clock stops, let's just be real with you. I'm not a stats guy, I'm not a numbers guy, I'm a heart guy. But when it's all said and done, nobody's showing up at somebody's funeral saying, man, you saw the square footage of his home? Oh man, you saw his car? You saw his Rolls Royce? How about his bank account? They're showing up talking about impact. They're showing up talking about moments. They're showing up talking about connection. I'm not one of these guys that claim I know everything, but I do know this. In life, people don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do.
So another year has come and gone, and a lot of us are the same place we were last year. What the fuck are you waiting on? We sleep 1/3 of our lives, and we think we can take days off. We think we have the right to sit back and give ourselves options on which way we're gonna go in life. Am I gonna run today? Am I gonna work out today? Well, it's Christmas. It's New Year's. It's my birthday. Do you think time gives a fuck that it's Christmas, that it's New Year's, that it's your birthday? You're giving yourself too many options. Let me tell you one thing. Time is running out. You keep on sitting around wondering what you want to do, you're just gonna run out of time. So make sure you do one thing. Stop following the crowd. They may take time off, but you can't afford to. Stay home.
The comfort zone is dangerous. When you're comfortable, you are at most dangerous. You should never feel comfortable. You should be happy and dissatisfied. But anybody ever tell you, hey, look, you know what? Just be satisfied with what you got. Don't believe them. Get them away from you. You should never be satisfied with what you got. Because the attempt to get more makes you into something better all the time.
Don't take it for granted. No, every second you get that isn't painful, you should cherish.
I would always say, what would I tell my future son? Because if I can't tell him to get through adversity right now, if I can't tell him to keep pushing through, if I don't live that, if I don't live through that, how am I going to ever give him genuine advice one day to get through it on his own?
Yes, life can be overwhelming. That's the way life works. It is going to throw problems at you, and it is going to throw them at you all at the same time. This is the way life works. But let me tell you, that does not mean give up fighting. Let these challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you. Let their demands and their trials make you stronger. Let the adversity you face today turn you into a better person tomorrow. The person you can control. People are not who you want them to be. Kill your idols. Sure, there are things we can learn from people, but people aren't going to be what you think they are, what they should be. Because you can't control other people. You can't make them what you want them to be. You can't make them who you want them to be. The only person you can control is you. So focus on making yourself who you want to be.
You guys need to understand what you don't have to do. All right? You don't have to work hard, you don't have to eat right, you don't have to sleep right. You don't have to do more than what's required of you. You don't have to be a good teammate. You don't have to be a good leader. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But you also don't have to win. You don't have to be a success in life. So the greatest things in life take sacrifice and discipline. And that's why so few people achieve great things. Because they don't want to sacrifice, they don't want to discipline for something greater. So you see all these people that have great things in life that you look up to, it's because they were sacrificed and disciplined long before you ever knew them. That's the truth. So don't get mad later when you create your whole storm and then it starts raining on you.
Surround yourself with dreamers and doers, the believers and thinkers. But most of all, surround yourself with those who see the greatness within people when they don't see it in themselves.
Nothing in life is promised except death. If you had the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past.
Faster, stronger, smarter, more humble, less ego. Discipline your body. Free your mind. Get up early and go. Get after it, and you will become the person you want to be. And you become that person through one small decision at a time.
If the game or break go against you, don't let up, put on more steam. If the game or break goes against you, don't let up, put on more steam. In life, with your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, the things that you seek to do, the things that you aspire to do, the things that you want to accomplish. Never forget, first and foremost, how brilliant you are. Never forget the people that played a part in you getting in this position. Never forget what you're made out of. But on the road to success, on the road to accomplishment, on the road to evolving and development, if the game or break goes against you in life, the only favor I ask of you, because in life, people don't burn out, people don't quit, and people don't underachieve because of what they do. People burn out, people quit, and people underachieve because life makes them forget why they do it. And so the only favor I ask of you, if the game or break of life go against you, don't let up, put on more steam.
When you are struggling and you start thinking about giving up, I want you to remember, and that is the power of hope. The belief that something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it. It is our fundamental belief in the power of hope that has allowed us to rise above the voices of doubt and division, of anger and fear that we have faced in our own lives. Our hope that if we work hard enough and believe in ourselves, then we can be whatever we dream, regardless of the limitations that others may place on us. The hope that when people see us for who we truly are, maybe, just maybe, they too will be inspired to rise to their best possible selves.
Your life is before you. You fill these pages with your hopes, with your passion, with your dreams. You write. You write the greatest story ever told.
You cannot run the demons. They'll always find you. Only way to beat them is look at them eye to eye and make them your mindset's the only thing that gets you through hard times.
When you make the decision to do what you want to do with your life, just know this: because the family and the friends in your life do not share your vision, but know this: only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible.